We have ignition.
I'd like to call the meeting to order. Almighty God, who hath blessed us with memory, reason, and skill, help us to use them wisely in the service of our town government. We ask this in thy holy name. Amen. We'll salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, we thank everybody for coming tonight. We have three special guests. Mark Davies, District Superintendent of Schools. Michelle Freeman is the Director at CV Tech.
Hi, everyone.
And Jim McCartney is a Principal at our Aeronautical Satellite Campus on the old airport.
Thank you, Larry.
And I don't know if any of you have ever seen the place. You've got an open invitation. I brought people through. I make most of the open houses. I'll let you know when it is this spring. It'd be well worth seeing. The aeronautical school is something brand new since I've been there. A lot of new courses since I've been there. But I've been there a long time and I've seen a lot of improvements. Three great administrators, thank you for coming. I think I'm going to put you right on the agenda first in case you want to leave, but you're more than welcome to stay for the whole meeting. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. It's beautiful weather we're having.
Oh, it's just beautiful. You all got the letter from CV Tech? Okay. He's writing, this is from Jim McCartney. He's writing on behalf of CV Tech to inquire if the town of Champlain would be willing to pass a proclamation recognized in February as the National Career and Technical Education Month. And he gives us a sample. We have, oh God, put those cameras away. Am I correct, we have like 20, 25 different CV Tech courses?
We
Yeah,
have
go ahead.
23 programs
Yes.
that run on 3 different campuses. So the main campus and satellite campus in Plattsburgh, and then in Essex County, the Mineville campus. So at any given time, we're running 31 programs, but we have 2 cosmetology programs, one in Essex County, one in Mineville, so that only counts as one, if you know what I'm saying. So typically about 600 students, high school students in Clinton and Essex County participate on one of those 3 campuses. And last year we had 330 successful graduates, which included about 80 postgraduates, so adult learners, along with our high school students. And in our northern region, our home districts usually send a relatively anywhere from 28 to 30% of their available 11th and 12th graders to participate in a 2-year program of study. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of the percentage of students from your area that are participating in our program.
And we do have courses at the hospital too, you could expand on that a little bit?
Sure, we have a program that is not what you typically think of when we used to think of vocational ed or OC ed, now it's called career and tech ed. We still have those programs that most people think of, automotive technology, construction trades, but we now have aviation fundamentals. But our New Visions program is for students who have already identified by the time they're in a senior in high school that they really want to pursue in a career in the medical field, whether they want to be a physician, a physician's assistant, a radiologist, perhaps work in the lab. So it's our only program that it's competitively based, so they have to apply and become accepted. We currently have 36 students that are participating this year, and they do a full year immersion at the hospital. So our Plattsburgh students, our northern region, is based right at CVPH, and they do clinical rotations throughout the hospital in an exploratory manner. So, but they're also at the same time doing anatomy and physiology and AP level academics, and then they spend the rest of a half of the day back at their home school. And again, most of these students have already identified or in the process of early acceptance at post-secondary institution in the medical field. In our southern region, our program is based right at Elizabethtown Community Hospital, and we have 12 students in that program as well. And actually, just recently, they did a whole rotation through the OR. They fully scrubbed in, they used all the laparoscopic equipment, they got to watch and, not a real procedure, there weren't any real patients in there, but they really had an opportunity to have more than just a tour. And for some students, we found that they really wanted to be a pediatrician going into the program, and because of the different components that they've experienced through New Visions, has solidified the fact they now want to be in radiology, or now they want to go into ortho, or maternity, so, and Jim oversees those programs as the principal for that, so it's a really amazing opportunity for kids.
One of our most successful programs is probably the LPN program. We graduate approximately 25 a year.
Yes, our LPN program is our only program that is not open to high school students, because it's a licensed practical nursing program that requires the student to be at least 18. So all of our students in that program, usually a cohort of anywhere from 20 to 30, so generally about 25 graduates a year, will go through a 1-year full-day program with the intent of being ready to pass the LPN exam. Most recently, you may have seen in the paper, on the news, we just signed an agreement with Clinton Community College, which has partnered our two institutions so that our LPN students, upon graduation from CV Tech, can transfer seamlessly into the nursing program at Clinton with 9 credits coming with them. So they don't have to duplicate their anatomy and physiology in some of their other programs. So, and keep them on track for an RN degree while working in the healthcare field. So, yeah, our LPN program is one of the best programs in the state, and we continue to have marked success with that program as well.
Well, our HSC program, Michelle, can you share anything about that as well?
Go ahead.
HSC?
Go ahead.
We have a more esoteric, less well-known aspect of the division that Michelle is in charge of, and that is that we, formerly known as the GED program, now known as HSE, High School Equivalency. There are the same number, approximately, of students that Michelle already had noted in that program as the rest of CV Tech. So we serve about 600 people. New grants that are being written by the supervisor of that program are now giving us access to the prison system and helping people transition from the prison, get their HSE or GED, and then move more seamlessly into the community with less stress and friction. That before there were really no services at all. Michelle's much more articulate than I about this, so I defer to you to any more of the details.
When people hear CV Tech Division, they immediately think of our CTE programs, which is great. That's a large component of what we do, but we also serve the community at large, Clinton and Essex County, and the population that Jim is speaking of are students who are adult learners, who may have left high school prior to graduation for various reasons. We work with them on job skills training, but particularly to make sure that they're able to sit for the new high school equivalency exam, because nowadays people cannot even gain employment at any of the fast food restaurants without at least a high school diploma or equivalent. So it's really important for the economic growth of our region to make sure that we have a large and able employable base. So Kathy Snow, we have our program over at One Work Source right on the Oval. So we're connected right there with Department of Labor and all of the other agencies. So as our folks come through, they'll get their HSED training, their job skills training, whether it's in advanced manufacturing or other areas, and also work with the other agencies to assist them in a successful transition back into the community.
All right, can I also share?
Pardon?
Can I share one more thing?
Yes,
I think we'd be remiss not to recognize Dr. Davies' work and his contribution relative to the capital project, the $29 million capital project that we just were very successful at. And people might not know this, but Dr. Davy is also at the same time as serving as the district superintendent for our whole region. He's also acting as the superintendent of a merged district. So your Elizabethtown Westport districts, as you may know, have merged. And if Dr. Davy could speak to some of the wonderful things he's doing as an administrator, help round out how complex our organization really is, or at least begin to round out, because there's even more to it that we aren't sharing tonight. But maybe Dr. Davy could share.
Well, I'll just say a couple brief things, and just an acknowledgement for the strong leadership that we have here for our career technical education. We were looking at some of the best educators and leaders in the state, and Mrs. Friedman and Mr. McCartney have both been recognized for being exceptional leaders, not only locally but statewide. The other component I'd like to just add, and that is that many of our programs, which we know as our secondary students are enrolling and looking at their options, whether they want to enter the workforce or go on to a career school, a technical school, or even go on to a four-year degree. Some of our programs all are articulated so they have college credit associated, and some of them anywhere from 3 to 9 to as high as 30. And our digital art and design has a 30 credit articulation, so students can actually, it's a pre-engineering, and you really infusing technology to the RPIs and the RITs, and the students actually, when they enter college, they're actually entering as second-year students, as sophomores. So we just actually saved their parents the cost of the first-year program. And one of the students that I know is a great example, the parents weren't all that enthused about attending CV Tech. And the student said, I want to do this and I want to be an engineer. And when the young man actually received a scholarship to RIT, with, I believe it was about 25 to 30,000 a year for each of the years for the next 3 years that he was going to be attending there, because he already had his first year paid for. And they said, the reason why you got this is because of your CV Tech program. So there's those kinds of success stories, and it happens often and more often than we realize. So we're really fortunate and blessed. And I just want to pause for 1 minute and say, Mr. Barkham, your town supervisor, is also our board president, which you're aware, and he's been a very strong leader in the region. There's 17 school districts, now going to be 16 in our component districts. We have 13,500 students. Mr. Barkham, this is your 27th year on the board, and the 22nd as the board president. So I want to just acknowledge his leadership and his strong support for education and for your students from your community, and being a strong supporter. So we're very blessed. And as a district superintendent, I do work with all the superintendents, all the boards of education. I also help oversee and am the superintendent of our BOCES and those students. And I also serve as the commissioner's representative in the field. That's how, when I wear the hat for the Elizabethtown Lewis Westport district, the new one, that's only the third merged district in the state in 10 years. And there's been probably 30 failures where two schools came together, did a straw poll and didn't vote for it, or did a straw poll and then moved on and then voted it down. It really takes a lot of work for two districts to come together and realize that they want to continue to merge. And Northeastern Clinton was an example of that years ago. Northern Adirondack was, and you can go back and think of the history, and the communities in the North Country have come together over the years and been leaders in providing strong programs for your children. So I acknowledge that and say thank you for being supporters of not only your town, but also for the region, and the work you participate and support is recognized as well. So, thank you.
I believe the last merger we had in our district was Saranac and Denimore, back in the 80s maybe. That was a long time ago, we didn't have many. There was a lot of them in the early 70s and late 60s, there was a lot of mergers. That's Moore's and Northeastern, Moses Point, Altona went to Northern Adirondack. There was a lot of mergers back then.
Sure.
There hasn't been many, for many different reasons. Jim, could you speak briefly about the aeronautical school? It's been kind of close to my heart, so to speak.
Thank you, Larry. We wanted to be, when the Air Force Base closed, it affected all of us in one way or another. I'm sure that people lived as far north as your communities, living as part of the Air Force Base. And so when it closed, the region kind of rallied and wanted to evolve or change the Air Force Base from an Air Force Base when it became privatized into something that could be considered an international airport, being as close to Montreal as we were. And we wanted to attract business to the area and introduce programs that would be aligned with the economic development aspirations of our region. So we were very pleased to start the program. We got a $1 million grant from the federal government through the NASA budget lines. We got 1.2 million from New York State. Betty Little assisted us with a couple of grants for $100,000. And we got millions of dollars worth of donated equipment and some materials from a whole variety of corporate and government sources. All, of course, with the same spirit that all of our programs are run, and that is in the best interest of our students, and the economic interest and the economic development of our communities. So with that in mind, we created something from nothing. We didn't know what we didn't know when we started it, and we may not have done it when if we really did in some respects, but certainly it turned out to be one of those successes that CV Tech enjoys so frequently.
Well, years ago, we were very hopeful with Laurentian Air, am I correct?
That was a big part of it, Larry.
That was a big part of it. They did not materialize in Plattsburgh, but the school came about. We did buy the whole school equipment out of the Ozarks, if I'm correct.
We did, thank you for remembering that. Part of the $1 million grant that we got from NASA, we made a special request if we could use part of the grant money as a bid toward a closing. It was a Christian school. It was 30 years in existence as an aviation program. Had a terrible accident. Their instructors were being recognized for their prowess in the aviation maintenance field, but they had a whole separate division at their college that trained pilots, and they had numerous jets and planes to do that. And so they had special permission from the college president then to actually fly their maintenance instructors to Springfield, Missouri, to be recognized statewide for their accomplishments. So in making that decision, they allowed also the spouses to go and some of their top students. On the way back from the event for that occasion, they actually had a plane crash and it killed everyone on board. Their chief instructor, their pilot instructor, and it became very, very difficult. They lost not only their instructors, but there was even suspicion as to whether or not it was intentional or not. So it was a very disturbing thing. It was a Christian school. It really hit hard for them. And so they were extremely, while we were elated to be able to have a bid at this Christian school, and what they had decided, they were only going to allow other Christian schools to actually bid on this equipment. We called and we convinced them that we had, the spirit of our organization was no different than the spirit of the other schools that were being allowed to bid. There were 5 of us. We bid 368, 86,000, something like that, and the exact amount escapes me right now, but we were successful. We drove 2 tractor trailers and 5 26-foot Penske's down, loaded up the entire program, took wings on aircraft and put aircraft in the back of these vehicles and drove them all back to Plattsburgh. It was really a foundational acquisition for us because all of the small things that we never even would have thought to acquire to have an effective program were all part of that transition. So, yeah, thank you for remembering that, Larry. It was a real boon for all of us and a source of pride to be able to have that and be able to successfully take that out of the grant that otherwise that amount of cash would have been very difficult to come up with.
And if you're driving down the turnpike going south from the intersection of Route 3, about a mile down on the right, you'll see the aeronautical school and a big, is it a 727? I believe it is.
727, Larry.
727 that FedEx gave us. I was there when they landed and brought it in a few years ago. You weren't here ago, Mark. That's before your time. Not too far before your time, though. And that used to be an Air Canada passenger plane. They told us that it was converted to a cargo plane. It's built in the 80s, I believe. And they gave it to us, delivered it to us. And they had to get special permission to land it on the old county airport. Okay. And that was a great find for us. I mean,
You have a very good memory, Larry.
well, some days. Obviously, I'm proud that I'm part of it, you know. Glad to have you guys here, and certainly, have you all read the proclamations? Would you like to have it read, or are you comfortable with it? We're certainly proud to do this. Thankfully you asked, have it done, Jim. Gives us a little recognition. So I would like a motion to approve as presented to us.
I'll make the motion that we approve the proclamation as presented.
Okay, thank you.
Second that.
Is there any questions or concerns? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Anything else you'd like to share with us? Michelle has something I can tell.
You can tell, how can you tell? I first of all would just really like to thank all of you for taking the time this evening to recognize current technical education in our region, but across the country. We all recognize that there is a skills gap. We all recognize that soaring student debt is an issue that we're all trying to navigate, whether you have children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, it is a topic of conversation. We're trying to provide quality educational experiences to our sons and daughters and grandchildren in the region so that we can train and sustain our lifestyle here in the North Country. There is an extraordinarily high amount of talented young people in our households in Clinton and Essex County. We're proud of them, we're proud to train them, we're proud to tap into the potential that perhaps they didn't even realize they had. But we want them to stay, and we want them to grow their families here in our own backyard and be just as proud of the North Country in their later years as we are now. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and on behalf of all of us in supporting our mission to provide that to our students. If you haven't been to our career centers in a while or ever, I want to jump on Larry's invitation. Our doors are always open. You could come as a board if you'd like. We'll if 7 o'clock at night works for you, we could do it at 7 o'clock at night. We could do it at 7 o'clock in the morning. But we would love to share with you what we have, how we do it, have you meet our students, meet our instructors, so that you can spread the word and let people know what's available through our school systems for all of our kids and ultimately the future of the North Country. So thank you so very much. It means so much to us. It really
Thank you,
does.
guys.
Thank you.
Mark, anything else for us?
Yes, and the only thing I would echo the same sentiments, and thank you for allowing us to be here this evening and for approving the proclamation. And as was acknowledged at the recent articulation signing, we are a partner with our other educational agencies, not only the school districts, but our community colleges in the North Country. And that's both Clinton Community and North Country, because we encompass both, and we have partnerships for advanced credits and so on for our secondary students. But we are all committed to really sustaining a strong educational program and a strong workforce. And really, the stronger our workforce development, the stronger our educational preparation, the better citizens we're gonna have, the better adults, and the better sustainability we're gonna have in the North Country for our economy. And we know that that's important, and we're so proud to be partners with all of you in helping really provide that foundation and sustain it. So we thank you for your support and your leadership as well, and we're proud to be partners with you and all of our colleagues throughout the North Country.
I believe, if I'm correct, Michelle is the success story. Am I correct that you started as a teacher aide?
I started as a teacher assistant, yes.
Teacher assistant,
When I
okay.
was 22, so that was like 3 years ago I started at No, I graduated from SUNY Plattsburgh. I grew up in the Capital District, but I came to school here in the late 80s. And my husband and I met here and we decided that we loved it here. And so fast forward 30 years later, we've raised our family here, built our careers here. Started as a teacher assistant, became a teacher. I had my license, but there weren't any positions. Got a teaching position, became a coordinator, worked in a Essex County school as an administrator, and came back home to the office that I had my very first interview and my very first hire. And so it has been full circle, but, that really truly believe in what we do, and I believe that I have, I got the better end of the deal. I got to be a part of something bigger than myself, and so I'm really excited to do what I can to give back to the North
Her
Country.
leadership is truly extraordinary.
We're a team, we're a really good team. So, but please come on a day when our culinary arts program is making really great food, because then we'll feed you too.
I haven't missed an open house down there, and I can't tell you.
I know, we
Years.
won't have one if you're not coming.
But I did miss one this winter. Did Santa Claus come to the
didn't
aeronautical
come
school
to
this?
the-
Not this year,
A year
Larry.
ago. The place was packed on a Sunday afternoon.
500 people.
It was like 40 below zero too, and we had about 500 people there.
What?
500 people.
Oh,
Mhm,
well.
That was insane.
They didn't come to see any of us, they come to see Santa
Oh,
Claus.
there.
It was a very successful
He
day.
can rock
Very, very successful day. We certainly thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Would you like a copy of this that's signed?
Please.
Yes, please.
Yes, I have one for you.
Oh, do you already, Larry?
I'll give you this one.
Thank you.
That's how confident I was it would pass.
Thank you for your
You're
leadership.
certainly welcome back anytime, you know that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Well,
really
thank you.
appreciate it, thank you for taking the time tonight.
Good to see you
Thank
again.
It's good to see you again, too.
Thank you, see you tomorrow or Thursday, depending on the weather.
Yes.
to see you again.
Thank you so much, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
They've already been doing
Thank
some
you so
merge
much, be careful.
work. They're called the Griffins.
Yes, you too.
So the Griffins,
Dr.
they've had
Baby
shared
Drive, so-
shared soccer teams and shared track teams. and
Nice
so-
work.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Oh, she's in order.
Please, Larry. You want a card, or do you just want Mr. Larry? Please, please, it'd be an honor.
Thank you again. Yeah, so you'll have to follow along and
I will.
see how they make out. So it's exciting, and I think it's promise for the programs too.
The kids will work it out.
Yeah,
Else to worry about.
exactly, that's it. Thank you. Good night now, everyone.
Good night,
Thank you
everybody.
again.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I need a motion to approve the minutes of January 8th.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. I'll second it. Thank you. Any questions, concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Town clerk's monthly report. I'd like a motion to approve.
Make a motion that we approve the town clerk's monthly report.
Do I have a second?
No second, Dan.
Thank you. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Just for your information, only you have your JCO monthly report, which is quite a bit of activity there,
Question.
strictly for information. Very nice of them to give us a report every month. Next thing is your EMS report for the month. They do drive a lot of miles.
Yes, I do.
Certainly, tells you about the mutual aid, and where they've been, and how many gallons of fuel they use, somewhere's I read. Okay. That's strictly for information. Okay. You'll have your dump control officer's report for the month. The one in your packet, and I believe there's also one on the desk this evening, a second one, okay?
It's a very interesting dog,
Pardon?
that's a very interesting report.
Yes.
Dog warden, somebody being arrested.
I was in on that one because they came to see me, because
Yeah.
an officer from Shazy had crossed the line. He thought he was still in Shazy, and he wasn't.
Right.
Had a Shazy address, but it was a Champlain, land was in the town of Champlain. That was very unfortunate, that many dogs and that suffering of those dogs, you know.
Mr. Miller took rather stern action.
Okay. For your information, only Charter Communications sent us the following changes. Read those over. Some of you probably get those, Jens, and stuff, I don't. This is strictly for information. They set their own rules and regulations, so. In fact, there's 3 pages of it. Okay. The Chamber of Commerce is looking for a letter, they provided a letter of support for occupational safe and healthy training. I'd like a motion to approve. That's the will of the board. I have no objections to that one, that's for certain. Okay. Any questions on that one, or?
No.
No problems? I don't know if I got a motion today.
No.
Got a motion on that, please?
I make a motion that we
Thank you.
approve the occupational safety and health training and education program.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. For your information only, the North Country Gas Pipeline they send us these every year. It's, notes, you can get telephone numbers in case we have, we keep those on file, but strictly for information again. We never have to really use them, but you never know, okay? Okay, another issue is, I just wrote it in here, it's probably not on your agenda. The golf course re-levy, for the fourth quarter EDUs, it was a mix-up, just put it that way. We own the land that the golf course is sitting on, so technically the bill comes to us. The bill was generated, it went from office to office, it did not get to the golf course. Should've, didn't. And it was re-levied on our taxes, and the manager up there caught that. Okay? And I totally understand and I agree with him that the re-levy, we should make some adjustment on that to give him some credit, give him credit for the re-levy. It does, we're not taking money out of our pocket, it's just not, we're losing the re-levy, so to speak, okay? It's $73.45. I would like, if it's the will of the board, have permission to re-levy that and take that much off his next tax, ADU bill. The ADU bills just went out, Julie? Did we, that one there, did we go back, or do you know?
No, you got the full amount.
Yeah, but did the bill go to him, or is it kept here?
No, it went to him.
It did go to him, I'll have to give him a call.
It went to him, because he's getting,
Pardon?
it went to the golf club,
Yes.
because there's two bills, they get
Yes.
two bills, so I stuck
Okay.
that one in
So
there.
if I call him, just have him stop in and the next EDU bill will take that off, if the motion passes, okay? So,
What was that about again, Larry? 73 what?
73.45, Julie gave me the figure.
Yep.
It was actually, if I'm correct, it was 6 EDUs times 113, $700 and some, and 10% re-levy, penalty, you might wanna call it. And that, I really feel like probably should not have been on there, and it will not be on in the future.
Was the error, on their part by not getting us the bill? and
Pardon?
notifying- Where did the error occur? At the county level,
Well,
sent it to the wrong place?
Let's say it occurred within here. We pulled it because we were supposed to, it's actually our bill. Brian, you wanna chime in on this? We're supposed to pay the bill
Want me
then,
to explain it?
yes, please.
The bill is sent to the town of Champlain, because it's the town of Champlain land. So when I generate the bill, it's under the town of Champlain, but it's actually North Country Golf Course responsibility to pay it. So when I did the bill, I went in and gave it to Larry and Brian and asked what they wanted me to do with it, because it was actually wrote out to the town of Champlain, and I didn't know at the time that the golf course knew about it. So I said, it was my understanding that they were gonna give the bill to the golf course, but it was just a mix-up. So they didn't give the bill to the golf course, and neither did I. So they never got the bill, so then we re-levied it.
I feel bad to ask the question. I thought the initial bill came from, like, at the county level.
No,
No,
Okay,
no,
I wasn't trying to,
when he got his bill, when he got his taxes in January, he realized it was re-levied,
yes.
okay? I don't see it as a big issue, Tate.
no, it's not.
Okay,
I mean, they wanna pay the actual bill
Yes,
because they know they owe it. They just don't feel they should have to pay the penalty because they never received the bill to begin with.
I understand.
And so you're asking for a motion for us, so they'll pay the.
Oh, they'll pay the bill.
So.
Well,
they'll-
they've actually already paid that bill because they paid their taxes.
So, and they paid the overage, is what you're
Yes.
saying. So what you'd like a motion for is to
Correct.
give them a credit of $73.45 for the next billing cycle.
You
Yes.
should make that motion.
All right,
I'll get it wonderful.
Everybody understand now?
Yes.
Hope it doesn't ever happen again. It was not a pleasant conversation, put it that way. We'll let it go with that, okay? Okay. Some people can easily forgive you for a mistake, some people can't, okay? Whatever. Everybody understands the situation? Okay, fine, thank you. I had a motion, I
Well,
believe.
Jason made,
Yes,
He
yeah,
made the
I'll make a motion
Okay.
that we, the town credit the North Country Golf Course $73.45.
73, 44, yeah.
Yeah, for an overage fee, for the next billing cycle
Thank
on
you.
their
EDU bill.
EDU bill.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. I had a second to that, I assumed.
I will
Thank you.
second it.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. I guess I do have it, I believe. Julie, could you explain to, you do this one better than I could probably. Sarah has recommended that we go to a new program, BAS, you know what I'm talking about, Julie?
Yeah,
Julie has it now, am I correct?
yes.
On your computer?
I have several programs through BAS. I have the tax collecting program, I have my town clerk, and Mickey has BAS too for his building permits. And
Jane?
plus the water and sewer, EDU bills are all through BAS.
And Jane has never had it. We were advised that we probably should have it. Late in the fall, Jane didn't want to switch at first of the year. She's explained it to Sarah. Sarah's aware of it. She would like it, okay? I don't know how soon we can get into it. There's some distinct advantages to it.
Well, they're very good. I mean, they're
Okay.
very easy people to work with. You remote right into them if you ever have a problem. Like today I had an issue with a couple EDU bills. And I wasn't sure how to correct them. So all I do is call them on the phone and they give me a session key and they remote right into my computer. And they walk me through the problems or take care of them right. I mean, they're very good. I mean, I've been with them since I've been here, BAS, and
Okay.
I've never had a problem with them.
If it's the will of the board and we agree to it, I'd like to have this approved, because Sarah can get started on it from the first of the year, so to speak. They're working on their end of year report right now for 2018, which is gonna be in, I believe, by the end of the month. This is something I know Jane would have liked if she had stayed on. She just didn't feel she wanted to switch weeks before she left. She wanted to stay on her old system, switch over. Probably should have brought this to you in January, okay? It's, I don't know what we pay for
What are
yours,
we looking at in terms of
$4,000.
cost?
Okay, and the money is there, okay? That's always the question I ask, when they bring me a proposal for something they want, whether it be highway or in the office. What account is it coming out of, and there's enough money there, okay? So, I would like, and I'm sure Sarah would like and appreciate it, if we approve that, and make her job much, much easier.
And that's an annual fee on that?
Yes,
Is
and
it a
there's,
one-time fee?
This is an upgrade on the software, isn't it?
pardon?
It's an annual.
I would think it's annual.
Is
I
it?
think it's well,
I-
maybe, maybe this will be this amount, well, actually, it's 64.
Wait, did I that's,
That's with the insulation and the training and everything.
okay,
So
That'll
I
only be
would think
one-
this would probably be a one-time fee, and then you have to pay for their service though every year, and their maintenance and everything. So, like, next year, I wouldn't believe this would be the amount, it would probably, I just, well, it says annual support maintenance fee is 2,100. So next year would be 2,100.
Are they aware that we already use their program for like your
Oh,
purposes?
oh,
and-
yes, I'm sure, yeah. I mean, they're a great company, they're out of Clifton Park. I mean, I've been down there before for training.
So this 6,400 is strictly for this payroll module, correct?
Yeah, it's for the actual.
That makes
yeah.
sense.
It's unique to it.
It is unique to that.
Okay, got it.
Position.
And your recommendation is they're a good company, it's good software interface, it's very easy, it's user-friendly.
Yes.
So you would recommend that, okay.
Okay,
I make a motion that we
okay.
approve the BAS software for the payroll module.
Mhm.
I'll second.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. I have nothing on the committee reports. I will say, the roads have been well taken care of, with-
Yes.
considering the storms we've had.
Yeah.
We're running, I'm not gonna say short, but we're running close on our sand pile. I don't know if I seen the news tonight, St. Albans, so anybody happen to see that tonight on the TV?
No.
They had a pile, they were letting everybody take a pail or two, whatever they needed. They stopped that. They're gonna put some outside of the gate, you can only get what you need. In other words, they're running really short too, okay? It's been an unusual winter for ice, not so much for
I think
snow.
the village is,
Pardon?
I think the village had to go find some salt too. And the
Well, this is
sidewalks.
sand right now, but, okay.
Ice is just thin on the sidewalks.
Okay, so hopefully we got enough to get through the winter, let's put it that, okay? We do buy salt through the winter, we got our load the past week or two. We're allowed so much at such a price. 700 ton comes to my mind, they come in 20-some ton loads, is that right? But the roads have been well taken care of this year.
Yes, the highway department should be commended for their work, and
They work hard. No doubt. I'm assuming they're gonna be in later tonight or very early in the morning.
They're already here.
But they're already here?
When I pulled in, they were here.
Okay. Because Alan was here plowing the parking lot.
Yeah, they're already out there.
Yeah, so I'm assuming he runs them till 11 o'clock or later, and he'll have them back in 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning if he needs them, okay? But Northeastern's already closed, that will have some bearing upon the roads, okay? 'Cause they try to get out earlier when they know the school buses have to be out.
Right.
They have school buses out at what, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning?
pretty early.
Pretty early, okay.
That's those far reaches
I'm not
of the
sure
district.
Alan's aware yet that the school's closed, so. Okay.
Larry, can I ask one question you're asking
Yes.
about the sand? Is that one of those scenarios where that's a product that you really need to order it earlier in the season and it's?
What DAS thing, Dave?
No, the sand for,
Salt.
yeah.
Oh, the salt? Well, we buy salt under it's a county contract. All the county and all the towns in the county are in this consortium, so to speak. Our salt all comes out of Montreal. All you need is a day or two notice. Now, we get most of our salt in the fall, and we mix it with the sand as we're piling it. But Alan likes to keep a load or two on hand of pure salt for our driveway here and different times, okay? Okay. And I'm thinking we're paying roughly $75, $80 a ton, I think it is now. It's up there pretty good.
I think our most recent voucher shows that there was salt purchased. It's
20-some,
underneath the machinery
Okay.
for $85.11.
yeah, that's probably 3 or 4 loads though.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, you had mentioned sand, I didn't know if sand was also, you said sand was running low, is that a?
We have our own sand pit.
Oh, okay,
And
so,
Morse.
all right,
We can't open it up in the middle of winter.
right, that's what I'm
We,
saying.
we keep approximately 400 to 500 loads in the fall of the year here. Okay, and it always has got us through.
Sure.
Hopefully the weather breaks here in March and still get us
I guess
through.
that's what I was asking, like,
But
if we were
Alan-
really in a pinch, is there a way to maybe?
Yes, Alan has a source of, he told me today, from a sand pit owner, whether he'll deliver it to us or we go get it with our trucks,
Okay,
or if we may not need any,
right,
okay, but he's looking ahead.
that's good, there's a
For a
good.
month or two
there's
ahead.
some- yeah, that's
We've
good.
gotta figure sand at least till the 1st of April. Okay, after 1st of April, well, not much, but, you know, things usually break after the middle of March. And we've only got 2 weeks to get to March, really. It's coming quick. Done too quick, though.
That's right, not with this weather.
Now it's just
That's right.
okay. And it's not, the snow hasn't bothered us this winter as much as the ice,
Yes,
okay?
yeah, I think I agree with you there, yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
the main roads like 9 and 11, 9B, they're all pure salt, they're state roads, okay? But, and we do plow county roads in the wintertime, we get paid for that, you're probably not aware of that.
No, it wasn't.
We take care of about a little over 20 miles of county roads in the wintertime, just winter maintenance, not anything else. They take care of the summer maintenance, but we get paid right tight to $100,000 a year, okay? Okay, so it all helps,
Yeah.
okay? Um, You got your post audit bills, the ones that have been paid, and we need to approve the monthly bills,
I just have one for you.
okay, go ahead.
Lake Champlain cleaning monthly billing for $730.
Okay, thank you. The other issue, going through the bills, it says on here, we made our final payment on that truck that we bought a year or two
I
ago.
see that.
Okay. Do I have a motion today?
I make a motion that we
Thank you.
approve the voucher list as presented.
Okay, thank you,
I'll second that motion.
thank you. Any questions on any of them? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's also carried. That's all we got those. Go ahead.
Sewer project disbursement approval number 11, Vernier car for $16,300.50.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve? This is for sewer now, not the water project, the sewer project of Holy Service Road. Okay. Which is, the pipe's in the ground, let's put it that way, but the restoration has not been done on the lawns and ditches and stuff, okay? So he was paid, almost 2/3 of that, project cost, contract cost, and the rest was held back until he finishes it in the spring. No, there's no way in October, November, he could have reseeded lawns and stuff. And it does, gives it the winter months to settle, okay?
So the sewer is in, is it connected for use yet, or?
No, I don't believe so, no.
Okay.
It's gotta be connected and pressurized, they told me,
Okay.
which has not been done yet.
So when will it actually go online in terms of being used?
This spring,
Okay. Okay.
but those individual owners up there have to do their own hookup to the pipe.
Okay.
Okay, that's part of the project, okay? Okay, do we have a motion on that one or no? I need a motion to approve the one that Julie just read, it's a sewer.
Does it say what burning or charge? That was for.
I make a motion that we approve sewer and project disbursement number 11 to Bernie and Carr in the amount of $16,300.50.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Those in favor? Pardon?
Nobody seconded it.
I was just gonna ask what it was specifically for,
Well, that's what I'm looking through here, and it's a combination of things. It's,
a little bit here, a little bit there.
it is.
He has told me more than once, this project should come under cost of what we've been allowed. Whether it does or not, we'll find out. It's approximately a $470,000 project. This contract with the guy that put the pipe in the ground is $182,000, I believe. The rest is, incidentals. Engineering's not cheap. And this is the one that we have a band on. So we take the money out of the band, then we get reimbursed, okay?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried.
Sewer project disbursement approval number 12, Vernier Car Associate for $17,664.62.
How does that differ from what we just approved?
Good question. What's the invoice on that, Clark? On the second page, right there at the top.
Yep.
What are you looking for?
The invoice number on the top, right underneath the date, underneath where it's stamped
Okay,
receipt.
invoice number is 18-1538.
Different one?
No, it is a different one.
You know, is there any way that we could ever go back and look at the original cost, projected cost, and show, and to see there that we would anticipate there would be these amounts coming in, so that we get an idea that we are within the budget? In other words, the burning your car's expenses probably should have been itemized, listed in the original contract.
Can I ask to have this approved pending my clarification from the engineers?
I have no idea what I'm including here, I just a bill pay it, you know. At what point do these bills stop coming in? When they stop sending them, I mean,
When the money's gone.
well, that's, yeah.
I understand what you're
Okay.
saying.
Yeah,
I fully understand what you're saying.
Well, they have one more here too, so,
What's this one for?
well, this one's water district
Okay,
Okay,
for,
but these two are the sewer, right?
this one's water district number 6 disbursement approval number 52, burning your car for $994.21.
okay.
and what was done
On the same page,
to pay for that? I'm digging this out like my teacher, Mike takes a real strong look at this stuff. Are we causing ourselves more problems if we go to tell burning our car we want an explanation? Or is it just not?
No, I think because we're paying it, I think we have the right to.
We had that.
And they do have the prior invoice from the last meeting on here, the 18/12/74, in addition to that 18/15/60 or 38. So these last three invoices have put us a little over 36,000.
It's just, there's not much going on right now.
The original contract, which the sign, that would show the anticipated total of engineering expenses.
To the best of my knowledge, the $13.9 million project in total
For water.
for water, I'm talking about water now, is over $2.5 million engineering architect's fees. Am I correct?
Yeah, roughly.
How about for sewer?
Pardon?
Was there a similar breakdown in the sewer project?
Going back to what I said a few minutes ago, he's telling me that there's money left over in the sewer project. We will not be using all 470, excuse me.
But we will if they keep billing us.
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
Keep building
It's
this.
almost like,
Well,
yeah,
You see, if you
I'll let
look
you
at
look it
this
over.
one here, it says the current contract amount was $2,553,000. Previous amount invoice is $2,539,000. Amount due to this invoice is the one they're charging, $994. So then it gives an amount that we paid so far, up to date, and then there's a balance left. So according to this, it's still owed, we still owe them $12,196. So they're still gonna bill us for that much more. For what? I don't know,
I don't think any of us know.
No.
but that's if you see it.
No, I see. Yeah.
So,
Like,
does it say it? there's
Well,
a-
it's strictly under the additional services of expenses is what the 994.21 is coming out for.
Is that what it's coming out of?
That's what it is. Out of all their categories from A to P, this is all just expenses in the amount of 994.21. It doesn't give you,
What the expenses are,
correct, does not give you that expense breakdown.
it just says expenses.
Right, like exactly what are you being billed for this particular bill? It's just kind of giving you all these other running tallies of everything that's, yeah.
Well, what they've done is they've drowned in your numbers. I mean, Clark, I don't think we're off base with asking, you know, exactly what this expense breakdown is, or each of those other,
Maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way, but if we knew at the very beginning that there would be, just for the sake of illustration, $75,000 in engineering costs, that was built into the original agreement. Okay, and then as the bills kept coming in, I would anticipate that those bills would be subtracted from that total amount of $75,000 and get down to the point where it would basically zero out.
right?
I have no idea what the original,
Well, I'm sure Sarah could provide us with that if we asked,
Well,
and that way we'll be able to see exactly what's. So,
So are you approving them like this or pending verification?
what's the will of the board?
I say pending verification. I don't think we're gonna lose anything by,
No,
it's just,
no, I agree. I think everybody's a little hesitant here, you know.
Okay.
And I think it might be best to,
now,
If somebody's in here, Brian, if you're in a day or two, we'll
Yeah.
call while you're here.
from your perspective, is that gonna cause us more irritation? I mean, is it gonna become more of a workload for Julie or for Sarah?
This project, no. Sarah's the innocent person here, she just came aboard and.
I don't want it,
Well, I think we need to send a message here.
I like to send a message to the engineer.
That we are just not gonna blindly accept bills and just keep paying them without at least some kind of understanding of where it's coming from. I think, at least if they get that message. And if it's literally them just seeing the dollar amount that's left and just having to keep draining the account, you know?
and the 16,350 is broken down into verification of existing conditions. Okay, so I guess we need to know, okay. Also, the ROW assistance, yeah, and it's an acronym.
right of way.
Right,
Right away.
right away. And then, construction stakeout, 3,500, startup, 2,000, record drawings, 3,000, and expenses, 5997.56, equaling that 16,012.
So he does have it broken
16.
down.
They do, but again, is everybody comfortable with what these additional services as they're?
it's not very itemized. It's very, those are very, it sounds like very generic categories that, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's what I wonder what people think, you know, I mean,
Yeah, and a more itemized bill.
so, oh, I'm sorry, this one here, Commissioners.
Okay, so we need motions on, we got a motion on the first one, but not on the other two.
Okay,
I guess the biggest thing is the expenses piece. You know, that's a very broad category. Instead of, you know, classified as, you know, like a rent expense or advertising expense, it's very specific. When they just say expenses, I'm not sure what does that entail? So, I mean, I would ask that we get clarification, so.
okay.
Yeah.
Next time Brian's in, we'll call and get it.
I'll check. Be around tomorrow. Well, if I can get out of my driveway.
So I'll make a motion on that second one, now we're going one at a time here. To pay it pending,
Clarification of your billing.
okay.
And, you know, like on the sewer, they've got Anthony Young and Matt Cooper as billing us.
Well, they were here when that project started, let's put it that way.
Yeah, but there's a lot of it
It's number 50.
on there. I mean, it's like they're the majority of the bill for the.
Okay, so did you make a motion on the second one?
Sure. Pending clarification.
I second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried? No, one more?
The third one there, the water district number 6. Disbursement approval number 52, Bernier car for $994.21.
$900, I can handle that one.
I thought the water project was finished.
Never be finished. Okay, Need a motion to approve
I
pending.
make a motion to approve number 52 in the amount of $994.21.
Second,
I have a second.
second.
Thank you. Any questions?
Pending clarification on that, yeah,
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried? Thank you.
Okay, now we got CCWD Restoration Disbursement number 9, Rabbity Brothers for $25.65. And it looks like these invoices go back from September and October.
wow. It's a while.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the Rapido bill.
I second
any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
that. Aye.
Opposed? Carried, thank you. That one. Well, that goes till Brian comes in. That pretty much it for bills?
That's it.
Thank you, that's enough.
Question, this is that has to do with water use, that's the EDU.
Yeah, that's a pre-bill report for the EDU bills that went out.
Okay.
And I did ask Julie to put a notice of the bills that was reduced last, no, we adjusted, I should say. Okay. Anybody else have anything before I do the executive session to discuss the contract? Go ahead, Doug.
I could just tell the group that I did attend the work session down at the government center having to do with the land bank proposal. It was explained in detail, and we were supposed to have heard a report tonight from Kimberly Davis, but she postponed it because of the weather, so she.
That's fine.
maybe
We understand.
Next month. I don't know any more particulars, but I get the suspicion from having casual conversation with others that the original plan to involve all towns, all villages is kind of being relooked at because of lack of enthusiastic participation in all municipalities. So that would affect the amount of money that's thrown into the big pool, so that's still up in the air. So
Okay, I'm sure
maybe
a lot
next
of-
month we'll know more about
A
that.
lot of details to work out on that, for certain.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You have anything else, Julie? Okay. I'd like to motion to go to executive session to discuss a contractual issue.
I'll make the motion, we'll go into executive session.
Thank you.
Second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Brian, keep notes for you if need be, okay? I hope. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you, Julie.
See you Thursday.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, there's 9 and 8, and yeah. I
Oh,
noticed
you
that.
got one more to pick up? She got a...
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll grab it in a minute.
Okay.
You gotta shut the thing up.
Ah.
Yes.
That's everything we had here.